What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer with another quick Overwatch news update. Today we're going to be talking about some exciting things mentioned by Jeff Kaplan on the Overwatch forums, namely being the release of the Blizzard World map, the whole new wave of new skins that is going to be accompanying it, as well as some future changes, possibly an entire rework to Hanzo, and also how you can get 100 more free Overwatch League tokens to get you a second free Overwatch League skin. So without further ado, let's jump right on in. So first off, let's take a look at what Jeff said about the new content that's going to be coming to the standard loot boxes. If you remember, we already got teased some of the new content back at BlizzCon 2017, where they showed off a number of Blizzard Universe crossover skins. Now, given that everything shown off was a Blizzard crossover, in addition to the fact that the Blizzard World map is also going to be coming out at this time, the assumption that I had, and it seems like the majority of the community had, was that most, if not all of the new content that's going to be added would be Blizzard crossover related in some way. However, according to this post from Jeff Kaplan, that is not the case. As he says here, most of the new stuff is not Blizzard World related, as a matter of fact. Also, the new stuff is the whole range of items, not just skins. So highlight intros, emotes, sprays, etc. We kind of assumed this latter part already because they kind of alluded to that in the original post showing off the skins that they've teased so far, but this is just another confirmation that no, not everyone is going to be getting a skin per se, but that rather some people could be getting less exciting stuff, which I guess is going to be disappointing for most people to hear, but yeah, just keep your fingers crossed that your favorite hero is going to get some cool stuff. If you guys really dig the Blizz stuff, then we'll make more of that in the future. We love doing it. Again, this is very fascinating to me because I thought for sure that this was all going to be, not all, but almost all going to be Blizzard crossover stuff, but apparently that's only a small portion. Like, there might not even be much more crossover stuff that we haven't seen yet outside of the ones they teased. There's stuff for all heroes, but not all of it is the same tier. Some will get legendary stuff, some epic, etc. A lot of that was based on who has gotten stuff recently and who hasn't, and how many items those heroes had in those categories. So this is pretty interesting. This sounds like Blizzard is trying to balance out who has however many items. Obviously, we see a lot of people who are upset because their favorite hero might kind of get the short end of the stick time and time again. So it sounds like this update is Blizzard's efforts to try to fix this. So just off the top of my head, from who I can think is lacking, we've got Doomfist, of course, Moira, possibly even Hanzo, and to be honest, maybe even Tracer, since it has been a while since she's gotten something new. The main thing here though is that if your favorite hero is just completely lacking in content, this is probably going to be really exciting for you. Jeff Kaplan did also confirm that the map and the loot box items will come out together. Blizzard World and the new loot box items release early this year. Between you and me, I am hoping before the end of the month, but stuff can happen. So as I've talked about in previous videos, it definitely sounds like they're going to try to get this in by the end of January, but of course there aren't any guarantees. I think it's probably safe to assume that it will end up happening before the end of January. I feel like this is a way for Blizzard to kind of be covering their back and saying, we hope it'll be there by that time, because in the event that something catastrophic happens, let's say, they don't want to have to come out and say, oh sorry, we lied about when it was going to come out. It's actually going to be coming out this later date. So I would still say expect it before the end of January, but it is entirely possible for it to get delayed. Now, moving on to the upcoming possible Hanzo rework, let's take a look at what Jeff had to say about this. We were experimenting with Hanzo today, but any changes there are a ways off. We still need to be happy with what we're trying before we go to PTR, or discuss things outside of the team. So unfortunately, we don't get any specific details, not even about when this update or change is going to happen. However, it does confirm that Blizzard is still looking at Hanzo and looking to change or fix him. And as many of us I'm sure will assume, the big thing they're probably looking at is Scatter Arrow. Scatter Arrow is a very, very problematic ability, not just in the sense that it's very frustrating when you get killed by it, as a tank main, going in as a, 500 health Reinhardt and getting one shot by a scatter arrow, that's pretty frustrating, I will say. But aside from its ability to do that and frustrate the enemy, it's also a very crucial part of Hanzo's kit. If you were to directly nerf it or take it out of his kit, Hanzo would objectively become the worst hero in the game. He needs it to balance himself. So we don't really know what Blizzard is going to do. They could possibly tweak it in certain ways, or we could get something much more radical, which would be like what happened to Diva or Mercy, where they got a completely new ability. Scatter Arrow might disappear entirely for all we know. I think that's probably a bit unlikely. I think it's more likely going to be the case that they just kind of tweak it in some way. But again, we're going to have to wait and see. And it does sound like these changes aren't going to be coming soon. So my guess is definitely not before the end of January, maybe by the end of February we're going to see something, at least on the PTR. So it'll be a bit of a ways off, but just keep in mind, Hanzo changes are apparently coming. And as the last thing before I wrap up this video, if you wanted to get a second free Overwatch League skin beyond the first free one that everyone gets just by signing in with a Blizzard account, you can actually get 100 more free tokens by subscribing to the Overwatch League 2018 newsletter using your Battle.net account. I'll have a link to where you can do this down in the description below. So I know a lot of you have been asking about other ways to get Overwatch League tokens, so definitely don't miss out on the opportunity to do this because everybody can use more of those skins. And that'll do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and turn on notifications to both help out my channel and keep up with all my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.